Alright, what's up, gamers? Tram here, and today we're gonna talk about the final part of the Thrones of Chaos content, which is the free DLC or the free content of patch 5.0, aka Thrones of Decay and DLC launch, which will happen next week. So we'll do what we usually do: we read through the thing and we talk about the. Hello, Total War Warhammer community. Welcome to the final installment of the Thrones of Decay blog series. Much like Grandfather Nurgle, we come bearing gifts, but thankfully not ones of pestilent nature. Instead, we have some exciting free content to dive into detail about, all which you will get to see, all you get to experience for free when patch 5.0 arrives, alongside Thrones of Decay launch on April 30th. That's in 6 days, so that's on Tuesday. Before we get to that, if you've been with us these past few weeks, will no doubt know that our next DLC is shaping up to be a showdown of Mohawks, Maggots, and Machines. As we welcome exciting new content to the rosters of the Empire, Dwarves and Nurgle. Click on the links below in case you missed to get details, to look at the new paid content as well as details on the free race update. Strap into your palanquin and let's dive in. A free legendary lord, Epidemians, Nurgle's talisman. That's this fella here, which we saw in the trailer. Let's see. So now I just some regular demon boys here. Standing out. Lore introduction. Epidemius is Nurgle's chosen talisman, one of the 7 proctors of pestilence and the cataloger of all plague lord's myriad diseases. His path through the realms is an unpredictable one, for he goes wherever the spore of pestilence leads him. He is busiest of all when Nurgle's power is strong, for the might of the plague lord is inexorably linked to the constantly shifting ebb and flow of disease. Campaigning armies, with all the poor hygiene that entails, offer a glut of work for the talisman. It also presents a rare opportunities for his more unusual studies. It is a rare privilege to observe a mortal's decline as their body and soul is ravaged by disease. But the experience is often over far too quick. Fortunately, there's always more victims to study. Alright, so here we have him. Chunky boy with some maggots creeping about. Sword, he's an hourglass. Big mold in it. Iron cast. Oh, the sword. Sword is iron. Okie dokie. This is a regular one. Herald. Campaign details. As Nurgle's talisman, Epidemius must oversee his master's domination of the world through the spreading and cataloging of plagues. As these plagues spread far and wide between non-Nurgle victims, they contribute to his tally of pestilence, greatly increasing his power. The Tally of Pestilence system counts the number of non-Nurgle armies and settlements currently infected by Epidemius plague. The greater the number of infected targets, the greater the gifts Epidemius has access to, including campaign bonuses and unique abilities. However, the Tally of Pestilence can both increase and decrease as plagues heighten and wane. You'll want to ensure some degree of momentum. Within the Immortal Empire's campaign, Epidemius ventures forth from the Forest of Decay. Faction effects. Gains powerful rewards based on the number of plagues active on non-Nurgle factions. There's 25% plague cultist campaign movement range. Recruitment rank +2 for Plague Bearers of Nurgle and Exalted Plague Bearers of Nurgle. Cycle time -1 for Plague Flesh Poppies. Plague Flesh Poppies. I think that's the Plague Bearer building. Lord effects. Ability. Talisman's Blades. Passive ability. Regen when fighting against enemies with a plague. Melee attack +5 when fighting against an enemy with a plague. Battle details. Epidemius is the epicenter of his army and excels at being a support specialist, blessing the grotesque gifts of the Earthfather upon his troops to enhance their combat prowess. Should he wish to examine potential experimental candidates up close, his Nurgling hoisted palanquin will transport him into battle, while his disease-imbued rusty sword will rip the enemy ranks limb from limb. New abilities. Tally of Pestilence. Intensity based on passive ability that improves as friendlies continue to increase melee attack, increase weapon. Is this an aura or is it just buffing? Epidemic Outburst. An active explosion damage and knocks back enemies, increases its mass, increases acceleration. The Talisman's Blades. Summons Exalted Plague Bearers that degrade over time. Upgraded version summons Exalted Plague Bearers that do not degrade. Easy. Sands of Sickness. Chain Augment that can spread buffs to allies and debuffs foes. Improves melee damage reflection. Improved vigor per second. Reduces enemy melee defense. And reduces enemy speed. New campaign only battle ability. The Earthfather's Blessing. Has the ability that activates when enemy hit points are low, causing damage to the enemy. Summons 1 unit of Nurglings when nearby enemies dies. The passive when activates needs person low, causing damage to the enemy. Earthfather's Gift. Passive ability that activates when hit points are low, causing damage to the enemy. Summons 1 unit of Spawn of Nurgle when nearby enemies dies. This upgrade. The Earthfather's Boon. Passive ability that activates when hit points are low, causing damage to the enemy. Summons 2 units of Spawn of Nurgle which dies. Is this like... I'm thinking like the Tomb King's one. The Tomb King's battle ability. But it's like the reverse. Instead of when you have taken X amount of damage, you get healed up. Your army heals up. It's when the enemy has taken X amount of damage, or when their units are taking X amount of damage, they take damage over time effect. And if they die while having that dot on them, they will spawn enemies. Or it'll spawn allies for you. Enemies for them. The Earthfather's Benevolence. Passive ability that activates when hit points are low, causing damage to the enemy. Summons a greater unclean one when nearby enemies die. Epidemic Outbreak. Upgrades for Epidemic Outburst, Explosion, that damage and knocks back enemies. Spreads the lethargic contagion on nearby enemy troops, reduces cooldown. How to unlock. Epidemions can be unlocked by linking your CA account to your playing platform of choice. More details on how to do that can be found here. Free hero, the Gold Wizard. Oh yeah, I brought that up. If it was during the Elspeth one or if it was the trailer one. But yeah, I did bring up that Empire didn't have gold wizards. That was like the one school they didn't possess. But here we are, and it seems to be covered by these gold mask boys. Fantastic bears, kinda cartoony staff. Like the shapes and designs. A bit simple. For my taste. This looks like a wizard to me. Lore introduction, we can skip that. Battle details. Like all wizards, gold wizards are most effective when supporting armies from a distance using their inherent mastery of the lore of metal. They reduce even the most heavily clad enemies to nothing but smoldering rubble. They can increase their battlefield maneuverability through the unlocking of the Barded Warhorse or Imperial Pegasus. And if all else fails, he can throw into the fight lines to bonk people on the head with his massive metal staff. New items, randomly dropped in the campaign. Armor of Tarnus. Passive augment that activates when casting spells, grants ward save. The Gold Standard. Active augment. Grants a single unit invulnerability. New campaign feature, the Nemesis Crown. Alright, I actually don't know quite what this one does. Alright, so Tier 1, Fledgling Crown. Gives hit points to Carl, who is using it right now. Gives bonus to its own faction, I guess. Which is Empire, so but minus relationships with all the other factions. So at net plus 10 with other Empire units. Or Empire factions, I mean. Ability, Nemesis Crown, weapon strength and missile strength plus 5% for US Army. Passive ability, Crown's Corruption, level 1. Lore introduction. Long ago, the Master Runesmith Alaric the Mad forged the accursed Nemesis Crown from Warpstone, the only material strong enough to bear the awesome power of the Rune of Ages. Horrified by the evil that he had inadvertently created, he hid the crown away in the futile hope it would remain undiscovered. Yet its whispers still emanate across the world as it yearns to be found. Gameplay details. You are interested in all-powerful arcane items that grant unmatched power at a small cost of some debilitating effects, such as worldwide diplomatic penalties. Keep reading the forbidden text below on how to obtain it. Nemesis Crown is a powerful artifact. It can be discovered by any faction and increases level to grant their leader and forces great strength, but at a cost. It appears throughout the campaign, providing hints of its location, and will be revealed once a faction owns a region in a province where it is concealed at the start of a turn. Upon discovering the crown's location, a campaign marker will appear to fight a battle for the option to either keep the crown or gain its power or seal it away to be discovered later elsewhere in the world. Once attained, the crown can be leveled up by winning a set number of battles. Its current and next level effects will be viewable in the panel access with the Nemesis Crown button at the top of the main campaign's interface. The crown will be retained if the bearer wins battles within number of turns in the panel and next to the Nemesis Crown. But the crown will be retained if its bearer wins battles in the number of turns. If lost through defeat or inactivity, the crown can still be discovered later elsewhere in the world. Alright. Will you wield it or destroy it? Modder shoutouts. Okay. These are like mods people made of the units before CA added them themselves. With Thrones of Decay and accompanying free updates, we realize that we're tackling content that our modding community has in some way already visited and may not be necessary after the update. Thanks for the awesome work. We're trying to get a list of names to shout out. Apologies if we didn't catch everyone. Yep. It's the lords, it's units, and I believe this Gotrek and Felix one is turning Gotrek into a hero, just like Felix, basically. Because I've been told that's something they're gonna do with 5.0 is they're gonna change Gotrek, so he becomes a hero rather than a lord that is right now. And so ends the final blog update for Thrones of Decay. We'll be back later today with Malakai's gameplay showcase. And you can look forward to the next week with notes for patch 5.0, as well as Thrones of Decay launch on the 30th of April. We hope you're excited for what's to come and can't wait to hear what you have to say about the content. See you on the battlefield. Alright, so let's well, it's not that much this time around. The crown, it's like the Sword of Cain. But I wish they would tell us what Crown's corruption actually does, what this passive is. Let's see what changes in next level. The penalties and bonuses get increased. Campaign movement 10% after winning a battle. Alright, we got the corn effect basically. Upkeep increase. All units in army. Ew. More hit points and more weapon strength. I guess the upkeep increases much stats you're getting. Alright. Very interesting. I'll definitely have to try it out. Gold Wizard, good addition. We finally have all the Winds of Magic that the Empire had access to throughout the history of Warhammer Fantasy, basically. Was the one missing piece for a long time. I'm happy with that. Epidemians, probably cool. I mean, he's a free legendary lord, so it kind of comes with the free legendary lord expectations, so to speak, which is he won't add much new stuff, but he should add like a unique campaign experience compared to what other units in his faction does. And unfortunately, Epidemius starts in the north, where all the other demons are. They won't add much there, but in the sense that he is Nurgle, he's the first like Nurgle legendary lord that is up there, because Festus is in Empire, and Kugaf is like between Empire and Cafe on the Dragon Islands. That area. So I guess it's fine for me. He's up there with the other demons. Just because there are no other Nurgle legendary lords up there. In case someone likes to start up there for some reason. I find it to be like one of the most boring places to be at the Immortal Empires. Oh yeah, Immortal Empire specifically. He probably has a starting location in Realms of Chaos. Well. But yeah, this is gonna be cool. Still doing my Bretonia campaign this week. In like warming myself up for playing a couple of campaigns with the new factions, Malachi, Elspeth, and Tamarkan. Probably do Malachi first. Then we'll see if I do Tamarkan or Elspeth secondly. I'm very excited to play all of them. I just like dwarves a lot. Nurgle is my favorite of the demon factions. And I do like the Empire. Especially with the stuff they're adding here. But yeah, if you want to watch me play this game, I have a link in the description where my Twitch is. And if you like me going through this blog post and other Total War content coming ahead, won't be coming some in a while, so we'll have to figure out other stuff to talk about. But until then, thank you for watching, and until next time, bye bye.